Hello everyone, welcome to Fiaura and this very special episode of First Impression. Now, you guys probably want to know my first impression of Tier 10. It's what you're here for! Let's get started. First, holy shit, who set these prices? I racked up, I want you guys to understand how much I went through. So I spent in the neighborhood of 9 million free XP. To free XP the rest of the way to get all the tier 10s, and to free XP all of these credits that are down here at the bottom. I had 94 million credits before I bought the T14 Armata. And as you guys can clearly see, I do know how to play, and I apparently know how to play it to some degree. I'm terrible in main battle tanks, but that's beside the point. I'm absolutely terrible in them. But I rolled a die to figure out which one I would buy now, and when Obsidian does what they're supposed to do for my press account, then I'll buy the rest. Kind of really want to get the PLO one, but anyway. I had 94 million credits. I have played a total of 16 games in my T14 Armata and earned my way back to 32 mil. I spent, drum roll please, 58 million credits to fully upgrade, fully retrofit, and purchase this vehicle. Ow! My pocketbook bleeds. At 58 million per tier 10, and there are 6 of these bastards. Let's do the math. 58 times 6. That is 348 million credits to buy and outfit all of the tier 10s. Just the tier 10s. That's not any of your previous vehicles. Just the tier 10s. And I haven't even touched this thing yet. Still waiting on them to get to me to get this thing in my frickin' in my garage. Yeah! I'm not terribly thrilled with the price. Can you tell? I thought tier 9s were ridiculously expensive. This is insanity. But, moving on. The matchmaker has been... Okay, Obsidian, just go look at Steel Ocean's matchmaker. Just please. Please, go look at Steel Ocean's matchmaker. But in the meantime, you guys want to see some tier 10 footage. I want to give you said tier 10 footage. So, I have played, as you guys can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 games before I got to this one that I've specially marked for you guys. Here you go. Hello everyone, we're back, and this is about to get started. So as we get into this, I am accelerating, and I go, you know what? This is the new high wall encounter. I like how they have moved the point of capping. I appreciate that from them. So I'll give you cred there, Obsidian. Now I start to go this way, and then I go... Hold on a moment. Why am I going this way? I see the enemy has already made contact with us here, and we're probably going to need help here. So I decide, I'm sorry I blocked you there, Leopard. I turn the fuck around. Especially since I might get shot in the ass for this. Now, as you can see, these things are huge. This thing is absolutely massive. I'm not sure they meant to make the model this big, but it's freaking massive. Now, see what's going on in front of me. Is a Leopard 2A6 and a T-14 Armata are side-scraping. By the way, you can't do that and expect to win in Armored Warfare against two other Tier 10s. And I just say, screw it. I'm going. He fires at me, bounces, and I get a nice big old shot into underbelly. Third of his health ripped off instantly for one mistake. A third. And I'm being as cautious as I can. Come on up. And I take a hit from the PLO-1. And I take a hit from the T-14. I back up to get back so I can shoot that underbelly. 1,000 damage. I'm still rolling below average, by the way. The average damage roll with how I have this thing outfitted is 1,072. I bounce one. Okay. My friend back here delivers an 1,100 point roll. And then eats it in his underbelly. And then his side armor. I make that guy eat it. And then I start pushing in. And I say, oh look, PLO-1. Aim. Fire! Half of his remaining health gone. And now I realize that we have somebody behind us. And I know that, you know what, I could turn around on him, but then these guys are going to come after me. The Leopard's keeping him distracted. This guy pulls out broadside and dies. Apparently he didn't expect me to roll 977. And I just punch it forward. Screw it, go forward. Because you know why? I know that these two guys are either platooned or maybe not. I don't really know that for... Actually, no, they're not. But I know that I can't fight with one person behind and one person in front. So I smash him for almost half his health and keep going. I blow his tracks off, and he doesn't have the depression to shoot me right now. And I know the other PLO-1's coming. And I see him spotted, and I take another hit. Oof. But then he makes a mistake. And he throws out smoke at this range, which is not going to help him. And I take half his health. Now here's the disadvantage. I am going to probably... I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. Didn't realize he changed directions, and I died for it. I was worried about fixing my engine. If I'd realized what was going on, I had just reloaded and would have killed him. Sadly. Now we're going to warp to these two. And the reason we're warping to these two in this T-14 Armata platoon is to show you just how ridiculous this is to me. Because this is one of 6 vehicles for this tier, and they are ripping away a third of the enemy's health every time they fire. Look at that. I am flabbergasted what these 152mm guns are capable of doing. I get the hit point ranges are bigger, but let's step back for a second. I have 3,488 hit points. My Challenger 2 at Tier 9 has 3,900 hit points. This means that the lowest hit point capacity main battle tank of Tier 10 is only 500 short of the highest hit point capacity of Tier 9. And will still kill it much quicker than the Tier 9 will. Panda guy walks right into their trap. He didn't even know he was there. It takes one little error in judgment and you lose a third or a fourth of your HP like that. And there's absolutely no way to counter it. And I'm just surprised. I mean, watch this. This guy. Oh, by the way, the PLO-1 is a light tank whose front armor and turret armor stops main battle tank rounds. He just fired into the front upper hull twice on the PLO-1 and ricocheted both shots. He got a side shot finally, but it's not going to matter because the PLO-1 is punching his front plate. He's a tier 9 main battle tank, having his front plates penetrated by the tier 10 light tank. These vehicles, to me, have not even been made to fight each other on even terms. They have been made to just be straight up overpowered. I mean, the PLO-1's gun is apparently able to penetrate everything it shoots at, without question. Because I have almost never seen one of those things bounce. They don't have the highest pen, but apparently they have something about them that just makes it where they don't bounce. Most of the time. I can say the Abrams and the Leopard I am completely unimpressed with. Which is kind of sad for balancing purposes. I don't know if Liquid Soul there hit the Commander's Hatch or hit the plates, but we are actually out of replay footage because at this point I knew we'd won and I stepped out. They chased down the PLO-1 and just kill it before I could even get back to the garage. That's exactly what happens. But as you can see, if you don't want to be outflanked in one of these main battle tanks, you're not going to get outflanked. If you don't want any bad stuff to happen to you, it's not going to happen. So now that this is all said and laid out for you guys, let's take a look at the stats. And also I want your opinion on how you like the new... I don't know if you like the new camera location or not. So let me know. Anyway, let's take a look at the stats. So, here we have... I have the gold star and shooter, which means the vast majority of my shots landed on target and I had the highest accuracy in the game. Go back. I did 9,849 damage. What? How much? Four kills, 9,849 damage. I would have had over 10,000 damage if I had just reversed direction, bounced that last shot, and killed the PLO-1. I would have over 10,000 damage. Plus, I would have still been fighting, which could have made it where I got my damage numbers through to insanity. 11 shots fired, 10 penetrating hits. I have come to expect, when I fire this massive 152mm experimental gun, for it to hit the target and penetrate every time. I had a PvE match, which you guys will see later, where I did 30,000 damage. The nearest teammate to me had 10k. You simply cannot keep up with this thing's damage output. You can't do it. Credits-wise, however, I am vastly disappointed in the amount of money it takes to repair and rearm these things in comparison to how much you make. I make more money at Tier 5 driving an AFV than I do at Tier 10 driving a main battle tank, on average. A main battle tank, mind you, that almost did 10,000 points of damage and has 4 kills. I make more money at Tier 5 driving an AFV just doing 2,000 to 3,000 and getting a kill or 2. I'm very disappointed in the credit output, especially for how much this thing cost. To reflect, if this was this is like an exceptional match. Let's divide this by 2 just to say, a averagely good match. So divide by 2. 118,525. So that's what you have. This costs 58,560,000 credits. I did all the math before we came in. To buy. Divided by 118,550 or 525 credits. I would have to play for 494 matches before I would break even with half the amount of credit result that I got from this match. Almost 500 matches effectively with someone with my skill level to get the return on my investment for 1 tier 10. 1 tier 10. That is what it's going to take for me to get the return on investment on one of these. Ow. Ow. Statistically, that's insane. I only have 900 some odd matches played since we went to open beta. I haven't been sitting down every day playing Armored Warfare continuously since we went open beta. I only really play a significant amount when I'm on live stream with you guys. So twice a week I play about, 40 to 80 matches twice a week. So average that out, I play about 120 matches a week since we went to 2 live streams a week with you guys. Actually, it's probably less than that. It's probably more closer to 70. I play about 70 matches a week. That means that it will, from the time I bought this tier 10, will be 7 weeks until I get a return on my investment. If I just play this tier 10. Ow. So what are my impressions of patch 0.15? The matchmaker is still screwy. Seriously, Obsidian, if you're watching this, go play Steel Ocean for 50 rounds and see how their matchmaker works. It works. I honestly have never been able to complain about Steel Ocean's matchmaker. I have 100 games in Steel Ocean, and I can tell you right now, in 100 games I have never once bitched about MM. Because you know why? It works. The same classes are on each side, the same number of each class are on each side, the same tier, each side comes out to the exact same tier point score. And each side comes within 5 points of having the same level of veterancy between it. In 100 matches. The most variance I've gotten is 5 points of experience off. And a single tier point off. While at the same time maintaining the same number of battleships, destroyers, light cruisers, heavy cruisers, and submarines on each side. That's an amazingly good matchmaker. Even with squadrons and platoons factored in, it still comes out to dead even matches. You cannot blame the matchmaker on it. You have yourself to blame, and you have the skill of your opponent, and maybe the screw up of your team occasionally. But for the most part, the MM is dead on. I can honestly say that I'm somewhere in the region of disappointed. I could revision the entire tier chart for Armored Warfare to put us back where we only had tier 8s, but I know that's probably never going to happen. I would prefer it that way. Because all through early access and all through the first parts of open beta, we were told tier 8 was the end game. We've also been told no paper tanks, no... This is a rant at this point. We've been told there would be no paper tanks. We've been told there would be no prototypes that were not actually built and tested and considered. And guess what we have now? The XM1A3 is a proposal. It's not even a blueprint yet. It's a proposal before the Senate Arms Committee. The Leopard 2A7 is still in the blueprint phase. They haven't finalized the blueprints. The Challenger Extended Life Program is through the proposal phase, but I don't know if we've actually seen a prototype of that roll out yet, or what it's finally going to look like when it goes to production. And the Sphinx, this is the interesting one, the one that's got me the most perplexed, is looking up the Sphinx Armored Reconnaissance Vehicle. It's a prototype. Is it a functioning prototype? Kinda. Is it actually ready to go? No! They haven't even determined what main gun is going to go on it, what ATGMs are going to go on it, or when, if ever, it's going to enter service. They haven't determined any of that yet. The vehicle supposedly is supposed to have a 40mm gun, but at the end of the day, Panhard still has not come forward to say this is what the Sphinx is going to be. That's a problem. Because that means that they could come out and turn around and say, oh, we're actually going to give it a 50mm gun. Or they could turn around and say, we're actually going to give it a 25mm gun. There's a lot of debate about what that 40mm is, or if it even is a 40mm. And there is no final declaration of what type of ATGM is officially going to be on it or what its capabilities are. Technically, it is still in the prototyping phase. All of the images I have seen of the Sphinx so far do not have a live gun mounted to it and only have dummy missiles poking out of the missile launchers or don't have the missile launchers installed at all. That's a problem. It's close, and it's the closest one of the 4 vehicles I've mentioned. So my impressions right now are pretty negative. I mean, things seem a bit skewed and a bit weird and a bit crazy. But I actually want to hear from you guys. I want to be able to pass all this feedback on to Obsidian. So you guys, let me know. What is your impression of 0.15 so far? And what is your impression of Tier 10s if you've encountered them or if you've been driving them? Comments. Let's have a conversation in the comment section below right now. In the meantime, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more stuff by me, you can subscribe. If you didn't like this video, dislike button's right there too. Up to you. I just figured I'd do a first impression while I was still kind of emotionally charged about this patch. And let you guys know my actual, realistic thoughts. Here's the previous Armored Warfare video for you guys. It's how to Leopard 1A5. I'm planning on doing a video of how to, not only a review of the T14 Armata, but also a how to T14 Armata for you guys. And lastly, if you want to support the channel, you can do so through Patreon, or you can check out the sponsor at the end of the video. Remember, Patreon supporters, after 2 months, you're eligible to be a moderator during live streams, which I will see you all on live stream this afternoon for World of Tanks. Armored Warfare's tomorrow. In the meantime, from my house to yours, this is Fiaura, signing out for right now, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye, everyone! Let you reload, may as well. There you go. Get a nice little hit in, and immediately, like, you don't even wait to see if the round did anything. You're backing up immediately. Because you know you have very little armor. You're not really a main battle tank. You just pretend for everyone else's sake. Have a heat shell, bud. Now start to go in to finish it off and go, you know what? That other Leopard 1A5's got him. And we need to get back to base. Oh god, we need to get back. Oh god, we need to get back. Oh god, we need to get back.